YouTube, it's Alexis back again with another video. So in today's video, I wanted to cover how I balance my full-time career alongside my photography business and my pop-up markets. So if you're super interested in hearing what I have to say, then go ahead and keep on watching. So the first thing I wanted to cover was my weekly routine. I think that this is important to establish so you guys kind of know how I'm able to juggle everything. So I pretty much work a 9 to 5 job, but the hours are slightly different from week to week. So usually kind of what a work week looks like for me is I go to work 7:30, usually get off by 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then from my pretty much 5 to 9, that's when I'm working on my small business stuff, whether that's for photography shoots or for sewing different goods for my markets that are usually on Saturdays. So for my photography in the wintertime, I usually only have maybe one photo shoot a week, and oftentimes that's pretty easy to manage compared to the summer. But the way that I manage both all year round, summer and winter, is through a paper calendar. So I usually have the monthly view, and I'll go ahead and write everyone's name as to who is signing up for which photo shoot, and that's kind of how I keep track, so I can do a quick glance just in case I need to come into work for my full-time job, so I can be like, hey, no, I can't do this, or I can further adjust timing and everything if I need to, if my full-time job needs me, because that definitely is my first priority. I love my small businesses and everything, but without my full-time career, I definitely could not keep up with all of the small business ventures and everything that I want to do there. So the next thing that I do is an actual calendar at work. So I actually have Outlook, and the Outlook calendar is so handy because I can keep track of what schedule I'm on. So in regards to scheduling photography sessions, I usually gear them towards the afternoon or the evening time frame, or even on the weekends. So usually in the evening time frame, I'm able to make it to the location right after work. So I'll usually just reach out to the client and be like, hey, I'm going to be here at this time, and it's already pre-coordinated. So it's pretty easy to schedule as long as I have enough time and I get off of my full-time job at a decent time. So that's kind of how I schedule, the ways that I get out to the client. So in regards to all of my photography, one of the quick tips that I kind of do, so after I get my actual client gallery and everything, I'm taking it from my SD card to my computer. I'll go ahead and open them all in Adobe Lightroom, and I'll go ahead and go through each photo, and I will go ahead and 5-star it or 3-star it. So 5-star is like, I really love this photo, this is one of the photos I'm going to edit. And honestly, this helps me so much with the quickness of going through all of the different photos that I have, because usually in one session I'm taking close to 1,000 photos, and of course they're only getting 35 photos, so you definitely have to look through those, and I really love that feature about Lightroom. On top of this information with the 5 stars and everything, Lightroom has the ability to make presets. So I make pretty much a baseline preset, and then I go ahead and shift the tones and colors and apply that preset to one of the photo sessions that I have. So my kind of style is definitely way more warm, and usually all of the lighting is very different amongst all the different photo shoots, so you'll definitely have to adjust the contrast, the shadows, the lights. You definitely have to mess around with that, but applying that base preset helps save so much time when editing photos. So that is some really good information just in case you're starting your photography business, is the 5-star thing to save time, and then also the presets. In regards to my markets, this is also a really busy time for me. I honestly really love staying busy, and so I kind of look at the markets as a hobby, but I kind of want to take it to the next level this year. So making an inventory sheet is definitely on my list, But in the recent years, I have been doing the markets. I just kind of base it off of what sells during the last market. So this past Saturday, I had a lot of male dogs come through, and one of the products that I make are dog bandanas. And unfortunately, I didn't have a lot made for smaller dog breeds. So the biggest thing is I needed to figure out how I can go ahead and manage all of my inventory to ensure that I make everything that the clients want. So I started writing down, I'm going to make 5 small bandanas tonight after work, and then I'm going to make males and females. And so I'm really trying to stick to that schedule to make sure that I have enough inventory for Saturdays. So when people come by with their different dog sizes and dog breeds, I have a plentiful list for them to choose from. Okay, so another part that I really try to do during the week to give me some more time is waking up early. Now, sometimes this doesn't always happen, but for a little bit there, I was on a grind where I would wake up at 5 and I wouldn't have to go to work until, 7:30. So I would go ahead and either get stuff ready for my markets. So that would look something like cutting fabric or making pre-made posts for my photography business, and I just tried to utilize my time to the fullest. Okay, so the last part that I wanted to kind of add in is how I stay motivated. So, for this year, there's a lot of new resolutions and everything like that. And I do believe that I'm kind of on that track of I want to make all of my business goals and everything in 2026. I want to give it my all. But I also have always looked at what God has called me to do. And honestly, every time I listen to him, I cannot go wrong. Like, I absolutely cannot. It's kind of crazy. And so I kind of lean into my faith a lot and kind of what he has put on my heart to do. Whether that's, my business goals or making new friendships or something like that. So I really rely heavily on that. And then the other part is I definitely did not come from a family of money. We weren't super poor, but we definitely didn't take family vacations or anything like that. And so, in my mind, I have always said that I want to be able to take vacations, take care of my family, like my dad, my nana, my papa. Like, I want to take care of all of them. And honestly, that's what helps keep me so motivated. Okay, so moving on into the little tip section before we end the video. So, one of the things that I definitely had to learn with juggling all of these is learning to say no, but learning to say no in a respectful way. So, oftentimes for my photography, people would reach out, they'd be like, I cannot pay this much. And back in the day, I would lower my pricing for the individual, but it actually turned out to be way more work than I bargained for, and some of the time I wouldn't even get paid by the client. This was in like the way beginning of my business, and I definitely was a little bit of a pushover. So I definitely needed to learn how to say no to something. Not to say that you have to say no to. For example, I usually do family photography. I don't do, Airbnbs or anything like that. But one of my friends, she actually asked me about doing an Airbnb photo shoot for her in one of their updated rooms, and I absolutely loved it. So if I would have said no to that, then I wouldn't have realized that I really like taking Airbnb photos, and maybe this is a way that I can expand my photography business. So, at the end of this video, I really wanted to ensure that I have encouraged you to keep going with all of your different passions. I know some people probably think I'm a little crazy because I always try to do the best at absolutely everything, and I try to do absolutely everything. My craft business has definitely moved. I used to make cups, I used to do Cricut stuff, and now I'm into sewing. And it's just so great to see all of your passions evolve over time. And so I just wanted to make this video to show you guys that you definitely can do it as long as you have the drive, the motivation, the organization, and you prioritize everything correctly. You can definitely make all of your goals and dreams come true. And I think that we can do this together. So, with all of that being said, I would love for you guys to comment and talk about the kind of the side hustles that you're doing or what your full-time career is and, the want to do your side hustle and small business. Whew, man. I am very out of breath. I'm trying to stay like very organized because there were so many topics I wanted to cover, and I just feel like I'm kind of talking like a robot today. I actually filmed another video on my new Osmo Pocket, but the sound, I don't know what happened to the sound. It was so sad. I lost so much footage. And if you guys came from the last video, I mentioned in the beginning that I wanted to cut my hair. And actually, this Thursday, I'm going to cut my hair. So I'm super excited about that. I'll go ahead and show you guys the length right now. This is kind of what we're sitting at. It pretty much comes to like, whoa, it pretty much comes to like my waist. And so the haircut that I'm wanting, I definitely want layers. And I think I'm gonna cut maybe like this much off. So yeah, I think it'll be good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!